Okay, so walk us through this process, Dr. Bara. You enter into Gaza, and what are you seeing? What are you experiencing?
So, subhanallah, yani, and I'm going to tell you a specific story. So I was full of emotions when going in. Yani,
And I want you to take your time and just, this is for you. You give
yeah,
us what you have.
yeah. Yani, the minute, so I've never been inside something that says Palestine before. So I've been before into Jerusalem, into Al-Quds al-Sharif, Quds al-Muhtal, the occupied Jerusalem. But subhanallah, yani, you can feel it from the first moment you are under occupation. You are going through Israeli checkpoint, they're checking you, they're giving you dirty look and whatnot. I've never in my life saw the word Dawlat Palestine, the state of Palestine, which was incredibly strong. For the first time in my life, I'm giving my passport to the checkpoint, and he stamped on my passport, and it's a badge of honor I have. On my passport, it says, "Welcome, State of Palestine," in English and in Arabic. So that by itself, just having the word Dawlat Palestine, that was extremely moving. And then as I'm going in, I'm waiting for the luggage to go in. Sami Zaharna, you know Imam Sami.
Of course, we know and we love him.
We love him. He's from Gaza. So anyone who's from Gaza, from my circle, I asked them if they need anything. I told them I'm going. My trip was secret for everyone, except for those close friends that are from Gaza. I thought I owe it to them to tell them that I'm going to Gaza. So if they need to send anything and whatnot. And subhanAllah, everyone said, maybe do that to my relative, do that, give this, give that. With one exception, Sami Zaharna, he said, "Bawusli trab Gaza." He said, "Just kiss the ground, the soul of Gaza for me." That was his only request. So I wanted to honor his request. So the minute I walked in, obviously that was the only safe place in Gaza because we're at the crossing point. So I didn't know whether I will make it beyond that or not. So I want to honor his request from the minute I walked in case something happens to me, at least I can fulfill a request from dear friend who's Sami Zaharna. So I pulled my phone and I wanted to videotape as I'm kissing the ground in Gaza. And I just couldn't. And every time I do it, as I'm saying, and I can send you the video, but every time I would say, "Assalamu alaikum ya Ard Gaza," there is a greeting, there is a salam from you, from your son, Sami Zaharna. And then I wanted to bend down to kiss the ground. I will break in tears. And then I will delete the video. I will stand up, do it again. So I kept doing this, and clearly I was visibly emotional. And every time it gets worse, I'm even tearing even more. But I want to do it because that's the only request. Sami has never asked me for anything during our friendship. This is the only time he asked me for something. So I really want to honor his request. So I kept trying. Salam alaikum ya Ard Gaza. This is salam from your son, Sami Zaharna. He asked me to do this. And so I'm doing this, and eventually I did it. Eventually I managed to do a video where I'm saying the salam to Ard Gaza, and I'm kissing the ground, and I'm not tearing down. But in the process, you can tell that I was tearing, I was emotional. The doctor who from the Ministry of Health saw me and came to me and said, "Assalamu alaikum, shu ma ta'mel? What are you doing?" And I didn't know what he was asking about. He was like, "Listen, man," and he was very strict. He was, "If you are coming here to cry, it's not too far, it's not too late. Here is the crossing. Please go back. We are not here to have you come here and cry. If you are here to do some work, ahlan wa sahlan. If you are here to cry, listen, no offense, we love you, thank you for trying, but wallahi, come back, the microbus is still waiting for you. They can take you back to Cairo." So I was like, no, I'm sorry. I stopped. I wiped my teeth. I went on. I thought he was a little bit rough, but I was like, khair, inshallah. We jumped into the bus, and as we were jumping into the bus, the driver, who's a local Ghazan, he was like, "Yeah, man, I feel bad for that doctor and whatnot. I know how he's doing it." I was like, "Which doctor?" And he pointed at the same guy who came and told me to stop crying. And they said, "What's up with him?" He said, "This guy lost his entire family 3 days ago. Everyone, his wife, he has 3 kids, his mother, they were all in one house. Because he belongs to the Ministry of Health, technically he's a combatant according to the IDF criteria. So they got his house. He wasn't in the house, but they killed everyone. He's the only one who survived. And that was 3 days before our arrival. And that was the same guy who came to me and said, if you're gonna cry, please go back. We don't want you. Now, I'm not sharing his name just because I think for security reasons, I don't want to share his name. But Wallahi al-Azim, yani, and that was the attitude from the beginning. That was the attitude from everywhere. I think I hear this word, people who know the Gazan accent, they have very specific way of pronouncing certain things. They say Halgate. I think I hear the word Halgate مش وقت دموع. Now is not the time for tears, more than 500 times. Everywhere you go, you see people who are affected personally. Either themselves, they are injured, or they lost family member, or they lost their house. And without you promoting them, they, as if it's the slogan in Gaza, the slogan was, Halgate مش وقت دموع. Now it's not the time for tears. And that was when that doctor told me, like that was when he came to me, when he tapped on my shoulder and said, go back if you're gonna cry. That's what he said. He said, Halgate مش وقت دموع. Now it's not time for crying. If you're gonna cry, go back. So subhanAllah, that was the attitude from going in. So we went into the European hospital. One thing that really shook me really, really hard at the European hospital, shook me hard the bad way, not the good way. As we are exiting the bus, all the little kids, you know, when you, like, I'm sure you've seen it, the little kids come around, they see a foreigner, they see a visitor. All of them came to us and they start speaking in English. And they start saying, hello, how are you? And with a very, very broken English. And they said, Assalamu alaikum, ana akhukum min Syria. I'm your brother from Syria. And they were shocked. They looked at each other as if he's joking. And they asked around, it's like, what's going on? Why are they shocked? Why are they speaking in English? And why are they acting funny that I'm saying, I'm your brother from Syria? They said, unfortunately, for the last 7 to 8 years before the active war, any aid worker coming inside Gaza, 99.9% they were foreigners, they were non-Muslims. So all the kids, they are used, the minute they see someone who's not local Gazawi, they will assume he or she is a foreigner, non-Muslim. So for them, that was drilled in their mind that anyone who's coming to help us is non-Muslim, which really, really shook me really bad. SubhanAllah, it tells us how, and I know, alhamdulillah, now all the emotions, everyone want to go to Gaza now. But subhanAllah, I feel the gentle atab, if you will, from Ahl Gaza, from the people of Gaza on us. Where were you before October 7th? How come we haven't seen any of you before October 7th? And I'm guilty of that. Like, honestly, I felt extremely guilty. I made it all the way to Uganda, but I never made an effort to go to Gaza. Shame on me, and shame on all of us, honestly, because somehow we forgot about them, and we only showed our emotions now when the active conflict happened. So subhanAllah, that's something, and again, I'm not shaming anyone more than what I'm shaming myself. I think I'm guilty in that more than anyone else.